welcome to Counselor Tips with me, Miss Istiana. How are you today, children? Are you good? Hopefully you are doing good. Okay, do you still remember what we talked about last week? Yes, very good. It's about the do's and the don'ts during the home learning. This week we will still talking about home learning. But which part? It will be a little bit more detailed. Do you still remember the part that we talk about your school day morning routine and your school night morning routine? Probably you will wondering, Miss, what is routine? I don't think I have a routine. How to set up my routine? During this video, we will learn how to set up my routine or how to set up your routine. Okay, are you ready for the tips? Let's go then. Tips number 1 is set up your time or block your time. Miss, what do you mean set the time, block the time? What is it? I will wake up at 6 o'clock. I will having my breakfast at 7 o'clock. I will start my home learning session at 8 o'clock. We call it set the time. Or we can also call it block the time. For example, from 6 o'clock to 6:30, I will wake up and then drink a bottle of water and then yawning time. And then from 6:30 to 7 o'clock, I will take a shower and then set up my clothes, put on my clothes and do that stuff. From 7 o'clock to 7:30, I will having my breakfast, maybe while watching TV. Okay. From 7:30 to 8 o'clock, I will sit down on my table, prepare what I need for my home learning session. And from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, for example, I will have my home learning session and so on. That's what we call blocking the time or setting up the time. You can do it, right? That's the first step of making a routine. How about the second tips? We'll go to the second tips. The second tips is write it down. Why? Why we should write it down? Because we cannot remember everything. It will be harder for us to remember everything. So that's why after you set up your time or block your time, you better write it down. Write it down your schedule. Write it down your routine. From 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, what will I do? From 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, what will I do? Write it down. Decorate it, you can color it, draw it, and then find a place that is easier for you to see or to look at. For example, near your study table or maybe behind your door, your room. It will be anywhere that it is easier for you to see during your study time or during your home learning time. Or probably, Miss, I'm too lazy to write it down. I will just type it. It's okay. Just type it, make it colorful, print it beautifully, and then paste it. Remember, it's at a place that is easier for you to look or see. Why? Because when you forgot what to do next, you can see those paper and then remember, yes, this is the time to having a breakfast. Yes, this is the time for me to study. That's why paste it in a place where it is easier for you to read. Easy, right? And this is the most important part of the tips. Tips number 3 is, what is it? Can you guess? Just do it. Of course, it doesn't matter if you already set your time, if you already block your time, if you already write it down, make it beautifully, paste it in a beautiful place where you can see all the time. but you don't do it anyway. So the important part is tips number 3, just do it. Follow your schedule. Follow the routine that you already set. Why it is important to have a routine? Like I've told you before, you cannot remember everything. So by having a routine, if you do it consistently every other day, one day, it will be effortless for you to do it. You don't have to think about it again. You just do it because that's your routine. It will make your days easier. You don't believe me? Are you sure? Let's just try, okay? I will encourage you to try making your own routine. And then don't forget last week's video about the do's and the don'ts during the home learning, okay? So that's for me this week. I hope you get all my tips. I hope you can apply it in your daily life. And see you next week. Bye-bye.